welcome to Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast. This is an actual play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Royalty-free music provided by Kevin MacLeod, Plate Mail Games, and Tabletop Audio. And now, to adventure. Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Buckner. I'm the primary Dungeon Master for Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast. We're doing another Zoom session tonight, but we should be back in person for the next session. So now on with the adventure. After returning from the Underdark of Brawl, the party fought an undead creature that had frozen time, with the exception of the party. It was looking for the astrolabe that is currently in the possession of the party. The astrolabe acts like a compass for the purpose of locating the Spelljammer, an ancient and massive spelljamming vessel surrounded by myth and legend. A month has gone by, and it is now Stardate 0319.82. What have you all been doing over the last month?
So that means we get a long rest, right?
A lot of long rests, yeah.
Okay.
Large cat has entered battlefield.
Okay. Not long after we got back then, I will have had time to finish. In fact, I've already had the time, I just need the money to finish up my little project. So, I guess, Janie.
Yes?
Come here, I got something for you.
Hold on, Earl. I'll be right back.
Oh, anyway, I know you've been, struggling and all that. It's not much, but here, see if that helps.
Oh, Straxy, it's beautiful.
Yeah, there. There's a little ring for you.
What's it do?
It'll give you a little bit of extra protection against fire. At least maybe help keep you from getting burned so much. At any rate.
Oh.
So,
That's awesome. Thank you, brother.
no problem.
She jumps up and gives him a giant hug.
Yeah. Pat. Right.
She holds on longer than he wants.
That's good. Glad you like it.
Did you make about
to hug.
did you make about 100 more of those rings of fire resistance to hand out to everybody that you guys come across when you're adventuring, so that Janie doesn't burn them?
Hey, that's their problem.
Oh, rude.
I'm not trying to protect them.
Love you, Sarah.
Bite me.
So anyway, yeah, you can add a ring of fire resistance to your equipment and attune to it.
Rolling on its own. That's a little creepy. A ring of fire resistance. Okay.
Yep.
Correct. Hold, please.
As for what I'm doing for the rest of the time,
You're probably working the forge, I would assume. I assume you work on the forge.
actually less so.
Less so, okay.
Okay.
So
Blue lady, Matteice. Yeah.
Yes, Strax. What can I do for you?
I've been thinking. We've been kind of getting into a lot of trouble lately, more than actually I usually used to.
You don't say.
Yeah. You banging around on the forge, you generally don't get into a lot of fights lately. It's been a while since I've been in the regiments. Want to give me a hand and just kind of get me back in the swing of things a little bit?
Do you mean training, Strax?
I don't think we need to go so far as training.
Oh, I think we might need to go so far as training.
Look, just be a moving target for me, all right?
Okay, you asked for it.
Arvian's watching all of this with great amusement.
That was Janie.
That's what Strax has been doing the last month.
Janie went and got some.
JD and Arvian munching popcorn.
I was just gonna say, do they have popped corn on the rock, or would it be like
That's funny.
pop something else? I don't know. I got nothing.
He's like a blue
Looking
blur.
for something witty, but it's just not coming.
A blue blur. Matteice is a blue blur.
Okay, is there anything in particular anybody else is doing? I mean, there doesn't have to be anything special, but
Right.
it's anything else?
Besides training with Matteice and now Strax apparently, and probably checking in with the temple. There's no point in trying to earn more favors. Like Arvine would probably be kind of keeping her ears and eyes peeled for the red bounty hunter that the Oracle warned her and Matteice about. But that's about all I can think of.
I could see GH88 trying to train with the acid shooter and like spraying it on SDO1, and Strax is like, no, that's wrong.
You know how long it takes to buff out acid pits. Yeah.
Sprays the wall, all kinds of stuff you made. No, don't spray that.
Also, at some point, probably during that month, Strax would have thought, so we got all these guys apparently coming after this astrolabe thing, and we apparently now have this funky gate that we can kind of go through. I'm wondering if maybe we could find a place to hide this thing so they're not coming after us for a while. Or do you think it maybe be safer just to keep it with us?
I think just keeping it in the bag, like unless we could find some kind of an alternate dimension that only we have access to that's more protected than the bag, right? If someone steals the bag, they can just get into it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say we might want to look into whether there's something more secure than that. You know,
I
something
feel
that's
like just
controlled with a
leaving it
spell
somewhere
or
is
a
a
ward.
bad idea.
Well, and I would want that dimensional access to be something that we would keep with us, ideally.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can research pocket dimensions.
I don't. And I kind of look at Matteice and be like, I feel like Matteice, we need to be looking into better ranged weapons for you when we encounter these foes that seem to stay off the ground even more than me.
John, you should make a butt of holding for yourself and put the bag of holding in your butt of holding.
No, I can't do that because when you do that, they explode.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Your butt will explode.
I'd end up getting sucked into the butt dimension.
Oh, jeez. No oozing allowed.
Is that the scratched off address on the Stargate? Is the plane of butts? Is that what it says?
The plane of holery?
The plane of flatulence.
It's me living with Chris all the time.
So Matteice says to Arvine, yes, it has been very frustrating for me dealing with those pesky magicians, I guess I would call them, that try to hide from my sword. So
kind of look at Strax and say, hey, is there anything that you could do for Matteice as far as helping her to get a ranged weapon or make a ranged weapon that has a little more range and maybe some magic?
I might be able to whip something up temporarily, but I mean, I could do the same thing for her little pea shooter there that I did for my crossbow here, and at least give her a little bit of extra attack power on that.
Yeah.
That would be greatly appreciated, Strax. I know it's
for
a
anything in a
temporary
rush.
solution.
For anything in a rush, it's about the best I can do right now, at least until I can find some way to actually make magic weapons, or we can find one around.
Right.
Hint, hint to you. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we could look for recipes during that month of downtime that we had, right?
I suppose.
I mean, I do have that Aarakocra lady that I can get recipes from.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask her to try to find, like a +1 weapon recipe for you.
Yeah. If they have, that's up to you whether you want generic, make a +1 weapon of whatever form, or have to have a recipe for a specific weapon.
I would like to be.
It would
able
probably
to
be for a
kill-
specific weapon. Yeah.
to kill the shit out of people. So that is the goal.
Okay, then it's probably not a bad idea. I'd probably put in the request, and we can see if something turns up for some sort of +1 ranged weapon. Anything that she comes across.
Sure. And in the meantime, you're going to use one of your artificer infusions to make Greg's or Matteice's black powder pistol into a magical black powder pistol.
Correct. It is Matt.
Does that make it a +1 weapon?
It does make it a +1 weapon.
Okay.
Let me give you the full infusion description.
You may have to write this down or type it in or something, Greg.
For the most part, it just means you can ignore certain features of the weapon. Or restrictions on the weapon. Where is it? Infusion.
I have a baby being changed behind me.
Repeating shot.
Baby bump.
Here it is. Repeating shot. This magic weapon grants a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls
I have
made
a
with
cat
it.
creeping up on me.
And it ignores the loading property if it has it.
So +1 bonus to attack and what roll?
Attack and damage.
Damage.
Standard +1.
Okay.
And you can ignore its loading property, which means you can just keep shooting it.
Okay. And that's a +1 magic black powder pistol.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. The way it's flavored is that when you go to shoot it, if you haven't loaded it, then a piece of magical ammunition appears, it fires, and then after it's hit or miss, that magical ammunition disappears.
Okay.
So you can still load it regularly, but I usually don't bother and just keep firing the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the loading property basically says you can only make one attack per round, no matter what.
Okay.
Whereas Strax's infusion will allow you to make multiple attacks because it will say you can ignore the loading property. So I think that's what that means.
Correct.
So there would be like my 2 attacks during.
Right. Normally with a black powder pistol, you would get one no matter what. But now because you have the infusion, you can, however many attacks you get, you can just do that many attacks with the pistol.
Okay. Okay, I wrote it down. I'll add it to my sheet later.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, Strax. Matteice says.
You better be thankful I had to give up my brooch of shielding for that. Hope
Well,
I don't
I'll
come
be
across any
sure-
guys with lasers.
I'll be sure to extra harm you in our training so that makes up for that.
What?
What? How does that work again?
I'll hit you harder. Irving giggles.
Okay. So I will cover the results of the Aarakocra's research at the next adventure.
That's fine. I expected that.
And I will write that down right now so I don't forget. Aarakocra +1 weapon.
Actually, if she comes across like a +1 short sword, I think Arvine is still short a +1 weapon as well.
Well, she uses laser swords,
Mary
right?
has a +1 laser sword. She's looking for a second one though.
Oh, that then.
So yeah.
That then. I mean, either
or
or.
potentially +1 armor. That's pretty much all she's on the market for at this point.
So put that out there. Whatever you want to drop my way is fine.
Armor,
I don't
laser
have to do all
sword, preferred.
Those
Okay.
little feet. Oh my gosh.
Baby toes, baby feet. Okay. So, is there anything else before I continue?
What's Janie been doing?
Obviously hitting on Earl.
Chasing butterflies
Okay.
and Earl.
Chasing Earl with a butterfly net. Okay.
Chasing butter earls with a fly net.
So you are all returning to your home at the Hammer and Unicorn Forge after an evening meal at the Laughing Beholder Tavern. As you approach the forge, you see a small circular object land on the ground in the middle of your group. A pulse of energy erupts from the object. Everyone make wisdom saving throws.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You're near
Okay.
me, so you
You
get a
made me give up my
plus.
brute of shielding.
How did Arvine get surprised by that with 20 passive perception?
Okay.
The cat is being removed from the table.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Is a wisdom saving throw?
Correct.
Okay.
I have advantage on wisdom saving throws. So.
You do, Miss Kalashtar.
I've already brought,
Oh, that's good.
It's a good
I
thing.
made that one.
but I will.
And we have +2 for being near.
Yes.
Being next to Matteice, yes.
Okay, remember to give rules before we give results.
Yes, and don't forget the droids, John.
Oh, right. The droid is still there. Okay.
We're close to Matteice. All right. Well, that's good.
There. And this is SDO1.
Oh, we had a long rest, so I need to
We did
do-
make sure
Oh,
you
we did.
you
I
that.
need to, yeah, because I'm almost dead.
It's a baby. Hi, baby.
She's talking away behind. Kiki, kiki, kiki. He's smiling. Okay, so let's see. Matteice, what was your result?
23.
23. Okay, and Janie?
16.
16. And Arvine?
20.
20. Okay. And Strax and the droids.
Okay, GH88 got 10.
Oof.
SDO1 got 8, but
Okay.
the droids are dispensable. I got 14. Since I got the lowest, I'll go ahead and use it on myself.
Is that with the
Yeah.
+2?
That's right.
All of them have the +2. That's
Okay, so take
everybody
that
in
back.
the
12 and
gaggle.
10.
12 and 10.
I
Okay.
got 16. Sure, why not? So flash in the pen calls for a flash of genius to give myself +5 to that, so 21.
Okay. So you got 21. Arvine got 20. Matteice got 20 something. And Janie got 16.
I'm going to risk it.
And the droids got 10 and 12. Okay. So that's all the shenanigans.
That's all
Yeah.
the shenanigans I got. That was my reaction.
So Janie and the droids failed.
Damn it.
So
Should have shenanigans.
So I need everybody to, if you go to D&D Beyond, since you're in it already, and you look up the spell Slowed, if you succeeded on the saving throw, you are slowed, but you ignore the first line in the second paragraph of the spell's description.
Okay, under conditions. So,
If you, it's not a condition, though, Greg.
oh, it's not. Okay.
No, you have to look under the spell. If you failed the saving throw, you are fully affected by the slow spell.
Okay, so you have to go to look at.
But if you succeeded, you are affected by it except for that first line of that second paragraph, which I believe says that your movement is halved. You get -2 to AC and dexterity saving throws, and you can't take reactions. You can ignore that line if you made the save.
Okay.
Then the rest of it is like you can only take an action or a bonus action. You can only make
So,
one melee or ranged attack.
would you like me to read the spell?
Sure, go ahead.
You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each target must succeed in a wisdom saving throw or be affected by this spell for the duration. An affected target's speed is halved, takes a -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws, and it can't use reactions, as Chris just said. On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action, not both. Regardless of the creature's abilities or magical items, it can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. If the creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted. Ick.
So you're the one that's really hurting on this one.
Yeah. A
So
creature
if-
affected by this spell makes another wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn. On a successful save, the effect ends.
Okay,
Correct.
so your variation on this is that that everybody gets the -2 penalty to AC, half speed, and can't use reactions, but only Janie has the spell restriction and the action and bonus action restriction.
Yes,
I think it's
basically the three of you take every single effect that's there except for that first line of that second paragraph.
so it's the other way
so
around.
we don't.
Oh, the
you
other way
got it
around.
opposite. So we don't take the penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws, and we can use reactions, but we
But
are
we're-
limited in the fact that
And your speed is not
only-
halved.
Our speed is not halved, but
Okay.
we're still limited to either an action or a bonus action.
Correct. And you can only make one melee attack or one ranged attack. You can't make more than one.
Okay.
And
Oh.
if any of you cast a spell, which some of you do have spells, then you
Okay.
have to abide by that restriction as well.
Okay. Sounds fun.
So,
I feel like we need to post this up. Like,
Right.
I got it open here on my screen.
so this sphere hits the ground and it's like blinking, and then the magical pulse goes off, and then
boom.
you hear this noise that sounds like combustion of some kind, or I mean, combustion maybe isn't a D&D term, but magical combustion, I'll say. And this humanoid in red armor comes flying over the rooftops with a jetpack and shoots a grappling hook down at Matteice. And Matteice, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm going to attempt to tumble out of the way.
I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble for you.
No, we should have hit it.
Okay, let's see. Ugh.
So this is a dexterity save there, Greg.
Okay, dexterity.
What did Matteice get?
12.
12. Okay. So this very Star Warsy bounty hunter in red armor comes flying over with the jetpack, shoots this grappling hook around Matteice, and starts to attempt to try to basically lift Arp off the ground. So we're going to roll initiative, and it's going to be a little funky because we're doing theater of the mind, but we'll have some fun with it in any case.
Okay, that's a good one.
Who wants to play tonight?
Right.
Yeah, not that one.
Matteice,
That's
20.
much.
20 for Matteice.
13 from Strax.
I didn't ask you yet.
Strax. Janie,
21.
Oh, you two were busy.
I wasn't busy.
and Arvine.
9.
9.
9.
Holy crap.
Yeah, roll the 2.
I think that's the first time Harvey's ever gotten last.
The slowest one in the group just got the highest initiative.
Did we take any damage from that?
No.
WTF.
No, Greg, there was no damage. It
Okay.
seems like the effect is meant to be extremely hindering to people and slow them down and affect their ability to do things, but it did not actually do any damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I do
That's
have
it.
a spell thing that, but since we didn't take any damage,
No, it's not spell damage. No.
it's a moot point.
So to check the rules, Chris, if the spellcaster rolls less than the 11, then do they get to cast the spell as normal without waiting until the next turn? The rules don't really say.
If the creature attempts to cast a spell, the caster has one action roll d20 on 11 or higher. The spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action. I read that as on lower than an 11, it goes off as normal.
That's what I would say as well.
That's what I just wanted to check.
So the top of the initiative order is Janie, our very, very slowed Kalashtar sorceress. You got a bounty hunter trying to get Matteice.
Enemy, shoot.
Great. Alrighty.
So the bounty hunter is flying. The bounty hunter is 3 squares up. Is 15 feet up, and there is a rope going from the bounty hunter's arm down and wrapped around Matteice. So it is in square 3.
How far away is it? Like straight up above Matteice or further away from us?
Essentially, yeah. It's we'll just say it's straight up above Matteice, just to make it easy.
All right, and I'm sorry, you read the initiative order probably, and I'm a zombie and I didn't write it down. So what are we?
Actually, I don't think
You were
I did.
last. That's all that's important.
Okay.
Janie,
Well, thanks.
Matteice, Strax, bounty hunter, Arvine. Thank you for the reminder. I did not read it off, so that is the initiative.
Okay.
Janie is contemplating her ideas.
Can I cast a cone up to the 3rd square?
Sure.
So I could do burning hands and still hit him, but miss Matteice?
Yeah, I mean, you can direct it so it doesn't hit Matteice, sure.
Okay. Alrighty. Sorry, bear with me. I'm using my laptop instead of my tablet, and I keep trying to touch the screen, forgetting that doesn't work.
So you're slow in real life? Hey-oh.
Bite me, bitch.
Sarah, do you have Crossroads cookies to mock him with?
I do not today.
Oh.
I'm very sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to cast a level 4 Burning Hands. You see me put my hands together and go.
Okay, so you have to roll a die to see if it goes off
It
next
actually
turn.
goes off. All right. Let's
Come on, low rolls. Come on,
pick one that
low
likes to
rolls.
roll low. Fuck.
Aw.
So Janie puts her fingers together. She's
And
having
nothing
a-
happens.
she's just-
Sorry.
She's like having a hard time concentrating.
Oh, jeez.
Now, I guess the question is, if it doesn't go off this round, do I still have to roll for a wild surge?
Where's the next
I would say if the spell goes off, or when the spell goes off, that's when you do the surge roll.
Okay. But it's the end of my turn, so I get to roll to see another wisdom saving throw, right?
Yes, against the effect. Yep,
Okay. And I still have advantage.
you do.
Or do I not because of the slow? I have to take a -2, right?
No,
No, that was a dexterity saving
It's
throw.
only dexterity
Okay.
throws, yeah. So you still got your collapse
You still have advantage.
Come on, big money.
Yay, it's 15 this time. Plus 3 is 18. And I'm
Plus
still
2
next
for
to
Matteice.
Matteice.
Yes.
So that makes it a 20.
Okay, so you succeed.
Yay!
Yay!
Which means
the
my spell
16
will definitely go off
Does
next round.
succeeding on
Yes,
the
it will.
saving throw negate all of the effects of the spell, Chris?
Yeah, once you save out of it, you save out of everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So like you see like pops of fire like slowly starting to come out of Janie's fingertips, like painfully slowly. She's looking at it like,
Little
what is
fire
happening?
Starts building.
Okay, so then we
Well,
go
this
on.
is new.
Oh, so Matteice. So you are. Where's my sheet here?
I'll be right back. Marty's having a whiny fit. I'm just gonna let him out. It's great.
Oh, someone's ringing my phone. I might actually have to. Dad is calling. All right, I do actually have to take this. Sorry, muting.
Real life, stop getting in the way.
Matteice.
Yes.
So you are restrained. So if there's a way for you to put that on your Dean to be on sheet there, you are restrained. You can use an action to make a strength or dexterity check, whichever one you choose.
Mm-hmm.
On a success, you are no longer restrained by the grappling hook.
Okay.
You could also potentially attack the rope. So
Okay.
you sort of have two options. You can use your action to try to break free, or you can try to attack the rope. Those are your options, and it is your turn.
Okay. I am going to attack the rope with my laser sword.
Very Luke Skywalker of you in Return of the Jedi on the skiff.
Okay. So, I don't have advantage.
No.
Okay.
Attacking the grappling rope, the
All right.
fiber cord whip, as it is referred to.
So 23 to hit,
You hit the rope.
Oh, yes.
and that is going to be for
4 damage.
no
You can
15.
Yeah,
15.
pretty
Okay.
good. Does smiting work on whips?
Okay. So you hit it, and you do a lot of damage to it, and it starts to fray. It looks like it has, this strange, again, it's a fiber cord whip. So it's got this strange filament that it's made out of that you're not really all that familiar with, but it's starting to fray when you hit it. And it looks like you did some pretty good damage to it, but it's still got a hold of you.
Okay, I attack it again.
Attack it again. Okay.
Can he?
Yeah, because there's a final sentence in that paragraph that says, regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it can't make more than one melee or ranged
That's
attack
right.
during its turn.
Okay.
Because of the effect of the object that exploded around you guys and hit you.
Yeah.
All
Now,
right, Greg. Just trying to be fair.
does the action point step outside of that, or does that still fall under those?
No, the
rules?
action point doesn't step outside of that.
Okay. So you just got to try to save, buddy, and hope that you break it entirely so that you have full capability next turn.
Okay. Do
So,
I?
so that was your one attack. You can only do one attack because of the effect that's on
Right.
you.
Okay. Can I just do strength check?
No, you had to do one or the
Just
other.
one attack. Okay. Or
Yep.
one thing.
One thing, right? Yep.
Got it. Okay.
But then you get a saving throw against this effect at the end of your turn.
Okay.
So make another wisdom save.
Okay. So that's going to be
Math.
16.
16. Okay, so you
Is that
still
plus your 2, Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
so you still have the effect on you.
Okay.
Strax doesn't have shenanigans he could do with that. Strax?
I know he used one on
If
himself.
he wouldn't, he wouldn't. Yeah, or if he already used his reaction, it's fine. Yeah.
Well, actually, since I'm about to go anyway, which will reset my reactions.
Your
I
reaction
guess
will reset once you go, yeah.
So, I mean, as long as you don't count the reaction I took before the start of combat, yeah, I got.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a reaction right now, but you have one when your turn starts.
Okay, so I can't do anything.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, because he uses reaction when it casts
Right.
the spell on us, which we haven't gone a full round yet. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
But it is Strax's turn right now, so you can go, Strax.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm going to need some details.
Okay.
First of all, this bounty hunter. What is
Yes.
he wearing?
Red.
Is it sexy?
Yes. It's essentially Mandalorian armor.
Okay. This grappling hook, is he holding onto it like with his hand, or is it like coming out of like a device on his arm? Like
It's coming out of a device on his arm.
Okay. And that device on his arm, is it made of metal?
Yes.
All right.
A very special, very unique
fight
metal.
with the with a blacksmith. All right. So I'm going to cast a spell.
Is it heat metal?
It would be heat metal, but unfortunately, it's not going off until next round.
Okay. You try to cast it, and the effects of the slow you down.
Yep, and that will be at level 3.
Okay.
So heat metal at level 3. I'll just mark that off.
Being
And
we can find out.
we'll deal with the results next round.
All right.
Okay.
And the droids, they're not.
They can't do anything.
good position.
They can't do anything because
Can't
I
do
do not
anything
have a
because he
bonus
doesn't have
action.
bonus action.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I mean,
so-
SDO1 has some stuff that's automated, right?
He has a reaction that he can use.
Yeah, the reaction, and that's it. So, I guess we all try to save out of this effect?
Yes, you save out. You try to save at the end with a wisdom save.
Okay, so for me, 11,
+2 for Matteice.
13, 14. Okay. And yeah, I don't know why this should be bothering me so much. So I will go ahead and use my reaction to go ahead and saving face on this one. I can do saving face, which will give me 18.
18. You are still affected by the slow.
Darn. Okay. GH88. Out of the box. 16.
Still affected.
SDO1. Ooh, 22.
Not affected.
Okay. SDO1 shakes it off. Not bragging.
Okay, and that's Strax's turn.
That is Strax's turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, hold on a second here. No, scratch that. No, it's just gonna. So your turn is over, and it comes to the bounty hunter's turn, and the bounty hunter tries to fly up and away with Matteice, and you see that basically it starts to go off at an angle, sort of down the street, and you get the sense that the bounty hunter knows that it can't fly with a creature as big as Matteice, but
pretty huge.
right. But it is attempting to basically drag Matteice down the street and away from the rest of the group. So it is going to make a contested roll with Matteice, and Greg is just coming back. So once he gets on his headset, we'll do a contested roll. Okay, so Greg, it is the bounty hunter's turn, and the bounty hunter is trying to drag you away using that grappling hook and rope.
Okay.
Because it doesn't seem like it has enough strength to be able to lift you off the ground.
Okay.
So I need you to make a strength check versus the bounty hunter strength check to basically try to drag you down the street and away.
Okay.
So, since this is a check, you don't get the +2.
No, that's for saving throws.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Didn't roll all that well.
He's pretty strong.
22.
22.
Woo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Matteice be strong.
it's pretty obvious to all of you that
Like bull.
the bounty hunter angles the jetpack in such a way that it tries to drag you down the street, and you can feel the pull of the jetpack, like the jetpack is having an effect on the bounty hunter's ability to move you. It's not just the bounty hunter's strength, which mechanically means that I rolled with advantage, but still you managed to beat the check. So the bounty hunter tries to employ the jetpack to help drag you down the street, but you are like, how big are you? Like 6 foot something? 6 foot something, diva, and you just bend your knees and you kind of grab onto the rope with one hand, and you manage to pull against the bounty hunter. The bounty hunter cannot move you.
She's a
I'm
6
strong
foot
as
diva
fuck,
with
too,
rippling
so-
muscles.
Plus 5 strength.
Yeah.
You're not on mic, Greg.
Plus, I'm strong as fuck with plus 5 strength. So
Yeah. Rippling muscle.
Strong like bull.
Strong like bull.
that's pretty good, actually. You know what? I didn't even add my strength plus 7, so I cheated myself.
It would just be a roll plus your strength mod.
Yeah.
So not a strength save.
Yeah,
But
it's not
yeah.
a saving, but yeah.
Okay.
She's strong.
Still.
So
Yeah.
the bounty hunter attempts to move Matteice and is unsuccessful.
But
And
Bear blasting.
No.
as the bounty hunter has been flying up there, the bounty hunter has had basically one hand out with the rope going from the device on the arm down to Matteice, and the bounty hunter has been using their other hand to basically control something on like a pad or something. You're not sure what they're doing, but basically this activity has been taking 2 hands for the bounty hunter to do this. And then you see the bounty hunter do something with the other hand, and the rope lets go. So it basically it cuts the tether because they realize that they can't move Matteice. So the bounty hunter just lets go of the rope. So the rope drops. So Matteice is no longer restrained, Greg.
Oh boy.
And
done.
let's see.
Matteice should get an intimidation roll for that.
I am
And-
pretty intimidating.
You are.
And then
Dan.
nobody's really moved. Is that correct? People have just kind of been staying in place. Nobody has told me that they moved. So
Nobody rolled well enough in initiative.
okay. So in that case, the bounty hunter lets go of the rope and stays basically right above. Actually, no. It can see that it can see that. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Janie. It's on Janie's next turn. So yeah. So basically the bounty hunter flies up and away because it can see that there's fire slowly coming out of Janie's hands. So the bounty hunter can see what's coming. So it flies up and it goes up
How
to,
far?
let's say, let's see. Well, what are the other options here? Do. It's all pretty close range stuff, actually. So it just goes up to 20 feet. And then hovers there with the jetpack, and then it goes to Arvine's turn.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to make the case that 20 feet is not high enough to dodge her cone.
It's not high enough to dodge the cone.
Because the cone will be starting in square 2.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
Above her head.
One more square up, 25 feet up.
No, you've already said
God.
20 feet. you
Nope,
said
25 feet.
feet.
Go ahead,
help the
Arvine.
DM, John.
No, hey, now there's ogres. You said 20 feet.
Now there's ogres. I was just going to say that.
He caught it on the tail
It's
of his
fine.
turn. All right.
That's all right. He's an
so-
intelligent bounty hunter, so
So yeah, Arvine just kind of draws her swords, glares, and says "you," and just transforms, flies right up to him.
bamf the
okay.
wind.
Yeah, and now she hasn't made an attack on her turn yet, so she is going to action point because it takes an action for her to transform.
Sure.
And she is going to swing at him, whatever it is.
Isn't she still slowed?
She is
I
slowed.
saved. I saved. So basically, I
You
don't
saved
have,
so you weren't affected by the first lines. but
right.
You still are affected by all the other stuff.
Correct.
Right.
But
So
because she didn't make an attack already, So she can use an action point to make an attack. As long as she only makes one attack
Yeah.
at all on her turn, then that's fine.
Yep. So, yeah. All right.
You're arguing with the trading card game player. They know how to bend those.
I know, I
this
shouldn't argue with a min-maxer.
Is this bounty hunter? Are they from Mandalore?
Right. Okay.
So you get your one attack, Harvey.
I do get my one
Mandalore is
attack.
copyrighted. They're from Mondalar. Or something.
Modular. They're from Modular.
Oh my god.
It falls under for use. So swing with the laser
That
sword.
would be a critical on a 19
Ooh.
Nice.
as laser sword expert.
Okay, are we ready?
So she has the swashbuckler rules. That's going to be with sneak attack.
Where's our
Okie
bum
dokie.
bum bum bum?
So she's gonna
Kate ran
double-
off with us before we had a chance to do it.
Ah,
Huh?
we didn't do our critical dance.
Versus like, thank God.
Wow, that's a lot of max and close to max damage. All right, so let's add all this up. So we got. Does it matter to separate the radiant from the normal, or no?
No.
That's not.
No, it
yeah.
doesn't.
Okay. So it's gonna be.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Yes, it does. I'm sorry, it does.
Oh. Okay. So normal damage, including the sneak attack damage. So that's gonna be 15, 20, 30.
This is the force damage.
33 magical force damage plus hang on, it's not quite
Oh, we're using force damage against a
33.
Mandalorian. Wait a minute.
30 33 plus 6, so that's 39 magical force damage, normal damage,
We
Okay.
already determined he was the
and then
modular.
12
What?
radiant because she's transformed.
I take it back, John. I don't miss you anymore.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, come on. That was hilarious.
So as you swing with your laser sword, the Mandalorian puts up a forearm piece of metal
Okay.
and seems to deflect some of the potency of your strike. So
Okay.
it doesn't seem to take as much damage from the force.
Deflecting magical force
See,
damage.
I knew it.
All
I knew
right.
it.
That's even with a magic weapon. That's cool. All right.
So that's the one
All right.
attack.
She just gets in its face and stays to the side of it so that the others can shoot spells at it if they want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. So after your turn, the bounty hunter brings up the other arm, the one that did not have the grapple on it,
Okay.
and it shoots out fire at Arvine. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay.
Lots of fire.
Iowa.
Fire.
Fire.
Beanie likes fire.
Burninate.
Burninate.
Dexterity saving throw is going to be 20.
20. Okay. Last second here. Do-do-do-do. So you take 5 fire damage from the flamethrower.
Sure.
And
Singed a bit.
did you save at the end of your turn, Kate?
Oh, no, I need to do that too. Sorry. That's
Wisdom
it.
save.
So, wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Hey, Hubby, where's the baby monitor? Do you have it?
I do.
Okay. It's on Chris's desk. Save. Come on. Oh, man. That is a whopping 9.
9.
Okay, so you're still affected by the slow effect.
Okay.
And then we go up to Janie, who releases a burning hand, which goes up and doesn't hit anybody. But you need to roll a whatchamacallit
Wild
there.
surge?
Yes.
I do not wild search.
Bummer.
Now, with that having gone off for my last turn, does that mean I still get an action?
Unfortunately, no. The spell
I-
states that uses your action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. At this point, you could use an action point because you're not affected by the slow anymore.
But I thought we determined that if I used an action point, I couldn't cast another spell. I could only use cantrips.
But you did. You cast it last turn.
Now I think you're playing a Kate.
Negate the spell on your last turn.
I had her roll the wild surge because she cast it on this turn. That's why I had her roll that on this turn.
Right, because it didn't cast on the last turn. It took an extra turn to cast it.
Right. Do you have any? There are other options you could use your action point for. They don't necessarily mean casting a spell, but I don't know if you have any good options for that.
Really?
No.
Not on something flying.
Okay.
I mean, I have a laser pistol, but Jeannie's got really bad aim.
You never know. You could roll critical.
Yeah, I could roll critical, but I think I've got like a +2.
Yeah, critical with a D4 plus 2.
Have a firebolt cantrip or ice or
bonk it with my staff.
Whatever that ice. There was a ranged ice attack cantrip.
Right, but she would have had to cast a bonus action spell in order to cast a cantrip, right?
Oh, that's right.
Is it called snowball? You can throw snowballs.
I mean, I have the option
D&D,
to switch one of my spells or cantrips to a bonus action with my sorcery points.
That is a bone-eye action.
I don't have Ray of Frost anymore. I do have Poison Spray, though.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mind Sliver.
Fun.
Right, but still, though, if you can't cast a regular spell and then a cantrip in the same round, I believe.
Yeah, yes,
I thought it was
you
one of them
can't
had
cast
to be a
two leveled
bonus action.
spells, but if you cast a regular spell, you can still cast a cantrip. Or if you cast a cantrip, you can still cast a regular spell.
Well, I would have to turn the cantrip into a bonus action cantrip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's normally why you can't, because they're
do
normally
it
Right.
the action
So
point.
I have Quickened Spell, which allows me to use two sorcery points to change the casting time from an action to a bonus action.
Okay. All right, I'm getting a little bit confused on the rule because I'm like if you were to action point and cast another spell, like you can't do that, right?
That was what I understood with it.
The rule is if you cast a leveled spell as a bonus action, then you can only cast a cantrip as part of your action. She has not cast a leveled spell as part of her bonus action. She has a bonus action left to her, which she can then level up one of her cantrips and cast it. Actually, technically speaking, you could cast a leveled spell.
If you convert the leveled spell to a bonus action.
Yeah. Because she has not cast a spell as a bonus. Actually,
Sure.
no, you can't. Nope, take that back.
Because that would still be 2 leveled spells in one turn.
Because it would still be 2 leveled spells with one of them as a bonus action. So once you've cast a leveled spell as an action, you can't use it to cast a leveled spell as a bonus action. But you can still cast a cantrip.
Right.
Yep.
So if you want to do a cantrip,
It's a
Christ
really
trips
weird
us
rule to
every
get.
time.
it is a really weird rule.
This is the one part of being a sorcerer that drives me nuts. So would I still need to use my Quickened Spell in order to do the cantrip?
Yes.
And would I
Yes.
need to use my action point?
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No, because she has a free action. She has a free bonus action. She has to
Yes,
use the bonus
you
action.
don't have to use the action point, but you do have to use Quicken Spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll use
Yeah.
I will use 2 sorcery points to quicken my spell.
Nice.
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 And then I am
Amon.
going to cast
And then-
Mind Sliver, which
Okay.
is an intelligence saving throw, which is probably not great for this guy, but
Intelligence.
I don't know. He hasn't shown much intelligence so far.
he knew to get the heck out of the way with my
Okay.
Uzma Bobber.
What is the DC?
It's 17.
17. Okay. It fails, or
Yay!
they fail. The bounty hunter fails.
It takes 8 psychic damage.
Okay.
And
And
I don't wild surge.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. So then, after your turn,
Team Janie.
the bounty hunter basically it's shooting flame out of the flamethrower, and it just kind of keeps on shooting. So I need you to make another dexterity saving throw.
Yay.
Arvine.
Predictably. Flying into space and getting in trouble. It's fine.
how many times have I told you? Don't just go charging.
Not so good that
What?
time. All right. So this time that's only a 7. Unless anyone's
So you
gonna-
take 11 fire.
Okay. That's
Ouch.
Arvina is relatively tanky for a little girl, so.
Okay, and then it is Matteice's turn.
Okay, so where am I? I'm on the ground, tangled up in this thing.
No, you're not tangled up anymore.
Okay.
It broke off the rope when it realized that it couldn't move you.
Okay,
And
where?
the bounty hunter is in square 5 at 25 feet, and it's essentially like above you and 1 square over because it tried to drag you a little bit and didn't
Okay.
succeed.
I guess I'm gonna try to use the black powder improved pistol weapon.
You saved out last turn, right? Last round, right?
No, Matteice is still affected by it.
Yes.
Matteice and Arvine are both still slowed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Partially
those
slowed.
Partially slowed, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Those
get
tracks,
one shot with your black powder pistol. There.
Okay.
Actually-
so this is
These checks, did your construct save out of it?
One did.
it's a D6 versus
SDO1 did.
I haven't been paying attention, sorry.
D6 versus
Think of-
6. Does this? No, this wouldn't get my No, this would get my radiant damage.
Nice house pony you got there, Jane.
Are you talking about with the improved divine whatever?
Yes.
If it says attack as opposed to melee attack, then yes. I don't know what it says though.
Okay. Let me look. Whenever you hit with a melee weapon, so that's not considered a melee weapon, is it?
Correct.
Right.
Black powder. Okay.
Correct.
Whoa. Okay, let's see. So that's going to be 16 to hit him.
You hear the pellet go patang off of the armor. There's a little spark.
Boo. All right. So
Even
I
though
guess
it's magic, you know.
Correct. So you make a saving throw, Greg, to get out of the slow.
whoa, that was really cocked.
That's what she said.
Oh, now Greg's dropping it. You're a mess, dude.
Drop it like it's hot.
What was it? A saving throw of
Wisdom.
wisdom. It's, 15.
So you're still under the effects. At the end of your turn, the flamethrower keeps on going there, Arvine.
Nice.
Dexterity save.
Oh, yeah. Eek, another bad one. Let's see here. This doesn't work. No, it does. So that's only an 8.
You take 8 fire.
Okay.
8 for 8.
All right.
All right. And then we are on to Strax, Hobgoblin, Artificer, and Constructs.
Okay, to begin with, my heat metal spell completes.
Okay.
Just to read it off to you, choose a manufactured metal object, such as metal weapon, suit of heavy armor, blah, 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 that you can see within range, which is a 60-foot range. You cause the object to glow red hot. Any creature in physical contact with the object takes, since I leveled it up, 3d8 fire damage when you cast the spell. Until the spell ends, I can use a bonus action on each of my subsequent turns to cause this damage again. So there's no save. He just takes 2 1s and a 5. He just takes 7 fire damage.
Something.
Okay. If a creature is holding or wearing the object and takes the damage from it, the creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or drop the object if it can.
Yeah, that doesn't apply in this situation.
So he cannot drop it.
Correct.
Okay. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
Hello.
And then you already saved that. You already saved out of the effect, John, right?
I did not. So let's see.
Fun size cat.
Oh, well, that's not going to do it. A 3 on the dice. Can't bump that up enough.
And what about GH88? I think he's
GH88
still affected.
Even worse than last time. Yeah.
Okay.
On the die, so.
All right. Then it goes to the bounty hunter's turn. So let's see here. Did that. Okay. Okay, so the flames from the flamethrower stop, and the
No more cooked chicken.
the bounty hunter draws 2 laser pistols at the same time,
Okay.
and just starts firing at Arvine, just like point blank. Doesn't seem to care about the range. So let's see here. Okay, so attack number 1. AC 24.
Yep, that hits.
Okay. So you take 11 force damage.
Okay.
Attack number 2. Oh, that was not as good.
Yay!
Hopefully, yeah.
So
Night
that's
is
it.
pizza night.
AC 15.
Miss.
Yes, okay. So then it, see, you're in melee right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just going to kind of hang out there in square 5. And it is Arvine's turn.
Okay. Alright, so let's see here. She is going to swing on him again. Seems to be the best approach.
When in doubt, hit it harder.
Right. So
My dice are
that's
not rolling
going
well
to hit
tonight.
for AC 23.
Yeah, 23 hits.
Okay, not as good on the damage though, so it's going to be let's see here, 3, 8 plus 6, so 14 magical force damage,
Okay.
and then 12 radiant on top of that.
So again, it deflects some of the laser sword damage away. And you said
Okay.
12 radiant?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, and then she's gonna try to save
Okay.
here, hopefully. Normalize her turns.
Somebody just tried to eat my dice.
I'm throwing dice. Excuse me. Tossing things on the floor. Alright. That's not great. Ooh, that's only a 12. Unless someone shenanigans me.
12.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I can't shenanigate you enough.
That's
All
okay.
right.
No worries.
So you're still slowed.
Ooh.
So, you see at the end of Arvine's turn, it's obvious that the heat metal on the arm is causing a problem with it trying to shoot and hit. So it's going to use 2 of its legendary actions to remove that one piece of armor. But it's gonna soak up 2 legendary actions to basically be able to do that.
Just eject it.
Yeah, just to undo a little clasp, hit a button, and then it just kind of falls off.
Well, then I will consider that spell a success.
Gadgets for Strax to take.
And then we're going to go back up to the next round. So we are starting in the next round with Janie, Kalashtar, Sorceress.
Less pizza, more fire.
Shut up.
She is now no longer slowed or hindered in any way, so she's at full capability, right?
Full
I believe
capability,
so,
eh?
yes.
Woohoo!
All right,
Rocket.
I guess it's time to unleash the beast.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
So, we have seen he's resistant to force damage already.
Yeah, no, I understand that
And
completely.
Arvine's right next to him, but Janie's pretty
right
precise.
next to him.
Janie's pretty precise with her area effects.
So, I'm thinking I'm gonna go for the burning hands again. So that's gonna be a dexterity saving throw.
Well, he's too far away.
He's out of range.
Oh,
He's 25 feet up.
oh, right. Okay. Well, in that case, I think I could probably drop a fireball.
I would say you can.
Yeah.
You can put it up in the air and put the bounty hunter on the edge of it, sure.
Okay. Then I'm gonna drop a level 6 fireball. Then
Okay.
Burn.
that's still
Burn it.
dexterity saving throw.
They already said.
Fire.
Watch your eyebrows, Arvine.
Got a 20.
Penalize it.
And
He
11.
hasn't gone yet, so that's still with disadvantage.
Still with disadvantage. What are you saying?
He hasn't. Oh, he did go.
Huh?
No, that's right. I haven't gone yet, so
Since
his
your
saving throws
turn,
are
he
still
went.
with disadvantage.
What are you talking about, John?
Strax hit him with something.
Since he got hit with the burning with the heat metal,
Mhm.
he has disadvantage on all saving throws until the start of my next turn.
Okay. That's fine.
Fingers crossed, buddy. Shenanigans.
Negates.
26.
a what?
26.
Ah, bugger.
Chris is rolling hot.
Okay,
Worth a try.
the lower one was what?
20.
20.
If you bend it by you'd have to bend it by the full 4, right?
Yeah.
25% chance.
Well, your
Dangerously.
DC is 16.
It's 17.
17.
Oh, 17. Gotcha.
Chaos.
I mean, I think it's
factor.
worth the shot, so I'm gonna try to bend it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to bend it.
Ah!
Guys don't like it when girls bend it.
No.
Some boys do.
Don't kink shame.
I just made a Sarah joke, is what I did.
I'm going to give you a
it's
round
only
of
a 2.
applause.
Oh,
It was worth a
Tried.
shot.
he's
Worth
still
a
gonna
shot.
still half damage, although he might have evasion.
Still
so,
half
I don't know.
damage on
Hopefully.
11 d6s. So here we go. Using my mini ones. Ooh, that's a lot of 5s. Okay.
I like a lot of 5s.
Okay. 20. 43.
Johnny 5. Cool, huh?
43 in half is 42, 21.
So it was 42, but really 21.
Well, 43, but really 21.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've been really nice.
Oh, okay. Get to burn with some fire. From Janie's fireball. Wild surge.
Yeah, that almost went off the. I wild surged!
Yeah!
Here we go.
Twin spell.
It's Arvine. Yay!
Don't go off the desk. It just hit my boob. Hit my boob again. It's settling on my boob. It's an 86.
Well, that's
86
a
that boob.
I don't think
86 to my boob.
I don't think we've had that one before.
Booby Tuesday.
86. Here we go.
Did you already burn your action point too? I forget.
I haven't yet.
You didn't
No.
have to. That's right. Yeah, because you're able to twin.
I cast mirror image.
Ooh.
That's a good thing to have.
Cool.
Now there's 2 of me.
Cool.
4 of you.
4 of me. Right.
True that.
Nice.
Good
So
defensive
my
spell.
boobs did good.
Boobage.
Boobs. Is there anything they can't do?
Well, they
They make
can't
good
clap
pillows.
you goodbye.
They make good suckling. You know.
If you jump hard enough, you probably could.
They can't roll over and play dead.
Well, they can.
So there's 4 Janies now.
There's now
Nice.
4 Janies.
That's
Okay.
awesome. For the win.
God, so there's 4 of them.
Oh God. Strax's worst nightmare. It's like too many Pinkie Pies.
They can't speak when they're
Less
spoken
fun.
to.
Okay, so after Janie, it is Matteice, but I gotta think if I want to do a legendary action. He only has 1 left. Sure.
Do it.
I'll take a shot with laser pistol at Arvine. First last legendary action. But I rolled really low, so 16.
Yes.
Miss. Okay. So Matteice, Diva Paladin.
All right, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go way in left field.
Way in left
I'm gonna
field.
Use Moonbeam on him.
Okay.
Why
All
not?
right, so I cast that.
All right. Moonbeam it is.
You're still affected, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you got to roll a D20.
Ugh.
What did you roll? Low is actually better, Greg.
That was really good.
Don't add anything to it. It's just what's on
Nothing
the
to
die.
add. Just what's on the die,
What'd
Greg.
you roll on the die, Greg?
6.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
you're fine.
It goes off.
So your spell goes off this turn.
Well, low 11 is good on this. Yes.
Okay. Yay. All right, so Moonbeams. Do you need to know what the thing is on that?
I need to know what the saving throw is.
14.
What type of saving throw?
It is wisdom.
Wisdom,
No, it's yeah, it is wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
Which my spell DC is 14.
Wisdom 14. Okay. I got 18.
Shit. But
Still takes half
on a
damage.
save, he takes half as much.
Sure. So this
Okay.
beam of radiant energy from Mayheen hits the bounty hunter.
Okay, so all right, so let me roll that to see what the damage. I don't have to roll the attack dice. I just roll.
No,
the damage.
just the damage. Yep.
Okay, so it's
That's it.
2d10.
By the way, yeah, I think you're rolling the damage early, Greg, because it reads when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn there.
Okay.
Right. So it'd have to be on the next turn.
Okay.
Or when
it starts its turn there, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, do you guys want to, Greg? You want to keep the rolls and just apply it later, or what?
I mean, you can do it if you want, Greg, but don't
I
tell me.
I haven't rolled it yet, so
That's fine. So we're just going to move on, and then when it gets to the bounty hunter's turn, you let me know what the damage is going to be.
okay.
So after Matteice, it is Strax, Hobgoblin Artificer.
Okay. Okay, Matteice.
It's still slow.
Did Matteice save?
Oh yeah, Matteice, make your saving throw. Wisdom save at the end of your turn.
Come on, Matteice. Big money.
Wasn't that what the 6 was?
No,
No,
that was
this is
to see
different.
if you were able to cast a spell that would happen this turn as opposed to next turn.
Okay, so 13.
13, so you're still slowed.
God, so close.
Okay, then Strax.
Okay, but
What's so strange?
reach into my pouch, pull out a brooch, slap it on Matteice's back.
Is it Rocket
Is that
Matteice?
the Tony Stark one?
Rocket
That's
Man?
the Tony Stark brooch. Since I
Rocket
don't need to concentrate on heat
can.
metal anymore.
She's bluing in the space.
19 doesn't go off till next round.
Okay.
And let me guess, you're gonna roll shit now that I have to actually save, aren't you? With my dice. But be nice, really.
Be nice, please.
Hey, it is being nice. 18 on the die, and for wisdom,
Wisdom.
well, it's just okay. 5 plus 0 to wisdom, so it's just plus 2 from Matteice, so
From
20.
Matteice. So 20, so you save out of it.
Nice, Strax. Good job.
Okay, and GH88 roll gets 18.
18, okay. So he's GHA is still affected.
Still effective. Okay.
Still affected. Yep. Okay. So that is your team's turn.
That is my team's turn.
Okay.
Team Strax.
So
All right. So now you
Let's see.
start your turn in the moonbeam.
correct. So now
Right,
you can
so-
give me the damage, Greg.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so it's 11.
It's half of 11, or is 11 half of what you rolled?
That's what I rolled. So
Okay, so
half
it
of
takes 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure it's only 2 dice?
Yeah, 2d10.
2d10. Okay.
Yeah. And if
I didn't.
well, I'm assuming the red bounty hunter is not a shape changer, but it would be making its saving throws with disadvantage.
No, it's not a werewolf or something like that.
Yeah.
More's the pity.
Yeah.
Okay, so the all right, so the only people that have really moved so far still is basically Arvine, who is right in his face.
Basically.
Okay, so the bounty hunter is going to take out another one of those spheres.
Ooh.
And basically just holds it and presses the button, and it goes. So I need everybody to make the saving throw again, the wisdom
Okay.
save.
Okay.
Come on, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Excuse me, cat. I need to at my desk. Hard on.
Are you rolling a die, Greg, or are you doing something you shouldn't be doing right now? He's shaking his head.
What a jerk. What a goober.
What would you save, Matteice?
16.
16?
Yeah.
So Janie. Sorry, you got food in your mouth.
22.
22. Okay.
Nice.
Arvine.
19.
19. And Strax and the droids.
Okay, so I got 7, GH88 got 20, SDO1 got 6, and I am going to use Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius.
Hey, Matteice! Duck! You get +5 to your roll.
Oh.
Greg, is your mic off or something? Because you sound really far away, but your mic is in front of your
Yeah,
mouth.
it's not working. There's some kind of problem with it, so it's using the computer's microphone.
Okay, I can hear you. It's not as good, but hopefully the way that I process the audio, hopefully we'll still be able to hear you okay.
Yeah.
So what was your save, Matteice? With the bonus?
I think you rolled 60 before, so total
I
21.
rolled 16 before.
Okay, so 21. Okay. Is that all the shenanigans you guys are doing?
That's all the shenanigans that would be useful for me.
Okay.
I'm way too far off on my rolls.
So Greg passed, Janie passed, Arvine failed, Strax, what'd you get?
7.
So you failed. And the droids?
20 for GH88 and 6 for SDO1.
Oh shit.
Okay, GH88 is good.
This guy has a spell save of
slowed, but
20.
good.
That's
Yeah.
redonkulous.
Yeah.
Spell save of 20. Holy.
Like 19.
So
Nope,
Matteice,
I didn't make it.
so Matteice and Janie and GH88 have the lesser slowed effect, and the rest of you have the complete slowed effect.
Okay.
So the bounty hunter flies away from Arvine,
Okay.
and it
Which-
goes. What's that, honey?
Which, because I'm slowed, then I can't
You
take
can't take reactions.
reactions anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, hiss.
It flies 60 feet out into the city and down out of your sight.
Get back here, coward.
I think I'm back on the microphone. I don't know if you can hear me.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, I think you are, Greg. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Everyone's gonna fly down to the rest of the party really slowly.
So basically the combat is over and you eventually save out of that effect.
Shake it off.
Yeah, you can shake it off. Yep.
Jeez.
I just look
Shake
at
it
Arvine
off.
and glower.
Shake it off.
I'm really edgy tonight, but whatever.
Spicy.
so you tell me at the conclusion of the battle, you tell me what you would like to do.
Arvine, there's no corpse for us to loot. Who was that?
Oh, it's the thing we've been warned about.
He was trying to get me Strax.
That is not very illuminating.
So, Matteice had an employer in her previous lifetime who sent her after me, and
Well, no, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure what you're about to say. Maybe I'm interrupting too much, but it's not
okay.
the bounty hunter from your backstory.
Oh, it's a
Well, it's not Balazar, but it's
okay.
it's the other bounty hunter. The Oracle of Fire told us that Matteice's old employer was aware of the life that she now led, and that we could expect a visit from a bounty hunter wearing red on behalf of Matteice's old employer, Milfoil.
That's true. Yeah.
Milfoil.
Mm.
Although
So this is Matteice's
this
fault.
bounty hunter is also tied to Zaxos. So this bounty hunter is bad for multiple reasons.
Yeah, the head of the Illithid Empire,
Yeah.
Mr.
Zaxos.
Metalface.
Yeah,
Yep.
metal tentacled mind flare.
I mean, it
This is
seems
Matteice's
that
fault.
It's
Thank you, Strax.
Matteice's fault for not collecting on her bounty on me when she could have in her previous lifetime years ago, which I appreciate anyway. But
I had to change
consequences.
It wasn't right.
You would have known by now that to not leave your enemies alive.
Well, first of all, my enemies didn't know exactly what my status was, so...
In Matteice's defense, at the time, there were enemies who didn't leave her alive. And not everybody knows
So there were
how diva lives work.
Yeah, so I actually was dead, Strax, just so you
We
know.
could squabble amongst ourselves, or we could go looking for that asshole.
I mean,
I'm enjoying squabbling.
I don't
myself.
think we should rest on our laurels. We should go and take action.
I don't like to rest on laurels. I only like to rest on Earl.
Oh.
Where are we most likely to find information on how to track this person?
Well, I think 60 feet that way is a good place to start.
You think Luigi would know?
I don't know.
He seems
Or
to see...
we could go before he runs.
Given the level of work that this bounty hunter seems to do, they're probably pretty skilled at disappearing when they want to.
Well, no, until we go. Let's
We
go.
can go and look. Yeah, sure.
I'm going.
But the longer we stand here and talk about it,
I'm
the more
going.
likely it's disappearing.
So Strax starts walking in that direction.
Yeah.
The droids go with him. The rest of you follow.
Yep.
Okay. So you search around for a little while, and you do not find the bounty hunter.
I will say an I told you so, Strax, on behalf of Arvine.
There is on the ground in front of the forge. There is a piece of a fiber cord whip. There are 2 discharged spears of some kind, and a piece of the bounty hunter's armor.
He was still flying, so he probably never touched. No.
Yeah.
In the area where it looked like he landed, I'd like to make a perception check. Maybe he touched down or something.
You can make a perception check if you'd like, sure. And you can do it with advantage if people are trying to help you find tracks.
Pick up the armor.
Well, actually, usually tracking is survival. Why don't you make a survival roll with advantage?
Check.
Yeah, survival check with advantage.
Wow, I'm even worse at that than I am at perception. Let's try it out. 18.
18. Okay. There's a lot of footprints around, and I'm sorry. Actually, it's the surface of the rock is it's an asteroid, so it's very hard to pick up on tracks under any circumstances, and you don't find anything in this circumstance.
Well, it was worth a try.
I pick up his piece of armor and look at it.
It looks very well crafted.
That's the Strax.
You know what this is, Strax?
Well, is it any kind of metal that I know?
Make a what skill would this be?
Let's see. Could be history, could maybe insight, investigation.
Yeah, investigation. Do
Or I could just
investigation.
make a tool check. I check with my tool. Investigation. Okay.
Yeah, do investigation, and if you don't have proficiency in that, you can add it for your artifice.
Yeah. Okay. So +9 to this. 19.
19. You can sort of surmise that there is some metal that you recognize in the construction, but there is some other element there that you don't recognize. You're like, I know what this is, but there's something else in there that is part of the process of making this armor that you do not recognize.
Well, it's certainly unique. Or if I can melt it down and make something out of it, that could be interesting.
Make a history check as well. Just a straight history check.
14.
14. Okay, so you're familiar with this, with the idea that there is a group of people out there that make this kind of armor. You have a basic knowledge that, you know, the formula, the recipe, the way it is constructed is very mysterious and nobody really knows what it is. But that's as far as you can remember.
I don't remember much about the people themselves that actually made it.
Not really. I mean, again, it's sort of like a legend. You've heard of these people. You know they exist, and they have some special way of making armor, and that's about as much as you know.
Well, there are stories that kind of circulate around in metalworking groups, as you were, you know,
forums,
forums, you know, and,
chat groups.
You know how sociable I can be in talking. But supposedly there's a legend about a group of people that makes, well, armor kind of similar to this, according to the legend, or at least the way the legend describes it. I don't know much about them, but hey, maybe we can track them down and get some answers. Or just set up a trap and kill the guy. Whatever you want to do.
It's usually best to cut off the head of a snake than to let it bite you.
Kill him it is, okay.
Do you examine the spheres?
Yes.
Nah. Yes, I'll examine the spheres.
Give me investigation with advantage because of your artifice.
Put it back in there. Investigation 25.
25. Okay. So you're able to surmise that these are essentially a very unique kind of spell storing item. It's not super dissimilar from the one that you gave to GH88. But it's definitely a little different and a little unique. And right now, it's basically it's just inert. You don't know quite how this works, but you know that it's a spell storing item. You can't repurpose it, but you know that it is a unique kind of spell storing item. Which again, these people of legend that have the special armor and everything, they have their own way of doing things, and this is very interesting. And you've never seen anything like it before, but you know that it's a spell storing item.
It's very interesting. I've never seen anything like it before, but I know it's a spell storing item.
Arvine asks, can items such as this be dispelled once they're activated?
Well, if they work like regular spells, if it actually casts a spell, like much like the things that I do, then probably, yeah, they could be dispelled, whatever comes out of them.
Yeah, and you see it's got a couple of different buttons on it. And
I start pressing buttons.
You know that those are the activation buttons. You're not sure why there's two different ones, but you did see it take it out and press one of the buttons when it basically put it in Arvine's face to try to get away. Actually make an intelligence check for me.
Just raw intelligence?
Yeah.
Because I have raw intelligence. 17.
17, okay. You do think that when the sphere first fell, when you were coming back to the Hammond Unicorn Forge, when it fell on the ground, there was like a blinking light on it, which was one of the buttons. And you happened to notice when it took out the other sphere that it pressed a different button than the one that was blinking when it was on the ground.
Light activation or proximity activation.
That's what you think, yeah.
Immediate activation.
That's what you think, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, DM. I just realized I keep switching in. I'm failing to switch out of character when I'm talking out of character.
Are you going to the southern realm again?
He does like it there.
Yes.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not dead yet.
So where did my wife go?
Putting
with-
leftovers
You're in the house with her.
real quick, and I'm getting a bottle into the warmer because the little one's probably going to wake up in about 20 minutes. So I'm
There you
still
go.
on headset. I'm just
So I was gonna end here, but I wanted to ask if there was anything particular anybody wanted to do before I end.
try to figure out where the red bounty hunter went. Maybe talk to Luigi at the tavern and see if he knows of any ships coming and going. Arvine would have some access to like law-abiding and criminal circles through her background feature.
Can you read off the background feature, Tim?
Yeah, sure. Let me. Fridge.
Strax would like to test out the ring that he gave to Janie by throwing Janie in the coals.
What?
She didn't scream as loud as you thought.
Okay, good. It is working.
Wow, DJ is
Jerk
crazy
face.
tonight.
Jeez.
John has
That's
clearly
rough,
not had enough
man.
human interaction in the last 10 days. He's gotten extra
Yeah.
That's
spicy.
rough.
He needs to go back to in-person.
I have had a week.
D&Ding.
I have had a week. I'll tell you.
In-person D&Ding, please.
Okay, so sorry. Let me go into features and traits. I'm gonna go
D&D Beyond.
to your butt in your face.
And your mom.
See, there's an background. Okay. City Watch Investigator. Feature Watcher's Eye. Your experience in enforcing the law and dealing with lawbreakers gives you a feel for local laws and criminals. You can easily find the local outposts of the Watch or a similar organization and just as easily pick out dens of criminal activity in a community, although you're more likely to be welcome in the former location rather than the latter. So I don't know if that would help her to try to investigate, who's heard about a red bounty hunter landing Rockside or not, but that would be
It doesn't-
Sounds like we could
Yeah.
probably track down like a location that might know about bounty hunters in general and maybe catch on some rumors of
maybe get a
bounty
name, maybe get a
working in
better
there.
understanding of capabilities if there's rumors about this individual, yada yada yada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me think about that, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to read that description again, and I'm going to apply that at the beginning of the next adventure.
Okay.
So I'll try to see how that might apply to the situation.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else? Everybody good?
Go rest and lick our wounds. Arvine's probably the most. She soaked the most once she tried to lock the bounty hunter in.
Okay.
Go on,
Well,
Matteice,
then-
let me shoot you for a little while.
So let's say goodnight to the listeners.
Good night.
Good night, listeners.
I'm still waiting.
Keep listening.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review anywhere this podcast can be found. Our social media links, plus additional content, can be found on our website at knightsofroleplay.com. Please tell your friends about Knights of Roleplay and Adventuring Podcast, and spread the word through social media. Your help and support are greatly appreciated.